Good afternoon, YouTubers. So today I wanted to come to you with my engraving pen. I did say we were going to make some videos on engraving wood, acrylic, glass and so forth. So this is just the wood one. I just wanted to show what I've learnt and sort of share my findings. Now it might be a little bit dark. I've had to shut the blinds because the sun was coming in so strong. I don't think you'd have seen anything. So this is what we did. I got something that I quite liked, which I thought wording was probably going to be the easiest, and then I literally coloured in the back and went over the front with a pen and got it onto my piece of wood. Now, I've had these bits of wood for years. They're actually to hang on the wall. Now, with all intentions, I do want to keep this as a first proper go at doing something. But I do want to just show you the issues I had and what I've actually found. So it's going to get a little bit noisy now. I'll move that out of the way. So these ones are quite deep up here. You can see that's actually quite deep here. You can get your nail right inside it, but it's actually quite wobbly. And then I went over it again and over it again, trying to straighten it out, trying over it again. I don't think the engraver is supposed to be this deep. That's my first tip. Don't go too deep. So I've tried, I've done a B actually just since sort of sitting here, and it looks much better. If you can see that, it's nowhere near as deep, and it's much more neater. A lot more neater. So I'm going to show you on this just because here and see how we get on. In the comments, please upload pictures to what you've done and any hints and tips that would help me understand and use this a little bit easier. I would greatly appreciate it. The other tip I found by using it is you've got to use it quick like a pen. If you slow down, it makes you wobble, which in itself is quite intimidating, which I have found it does work. It really does work. So I'll show you now, and then we'll talk about what we find in a second. So you can see. So I'm just going to do the E here, okay? Just the E to start with. So we turn it on to number 3. So number 2 for wood. There we go, like that. Slows it down just a little bit. I guess you could do it on number 1, but it might be a bit too slow. But we'll have a go at that in a minute. So a little bit of noise. Okay, so let me turn that off. So that's what we've got there. Now, bear in mind, if you do it like this, don't forget you've got to rub off the pencil. So let me rub that off. So I don't want to put any more back on it. Rub the B and the E off, and you'll be able to see the difference from this morning. Some of it, honestly, the pencil goes right inside, so you would have to sit and take the time just to get that off. So with the pencil rubbed out, sorry I can't see, it's blinding me, the extra light. There we go. That isn't a bad E, considering I'm unseasoned with it, and I'm sort of worse than an amateur. So it is easier to go quicker, and don't go so deep, because the difference between the two is like light and day. That one's very like what I call it jumped. So it's like bouncy, lumpy. It just doesn't look good at all. So don't go too deep. Always try and do it a little bit faster, like you're writing on a piece of paper. I know that sounds easier said than done, but it is. Try it, it's good. So let's give it a go on the next letter, on number 1. Let's see. Okay. So when you first turn it on, it always comes up with 3, so you drop it to how fast you want to do it. Now this might be too slow to do it, so I'm just going to do a C. Can you see me do it? Can you see me doing it? Okay, so it's working. It doesn't cut so deep because it's... Okay, let me turn that off. So actually, I think that C looks pretty good. So maybe a number 1 is the best way to go with the wood. Let's just have a quick look in the engraving box just to see what number it says. This is where it says number 1, I've been doing it wrong all this time. Okay, so it says, if you can see, wood, speed 2. So it is supposed to be on speed 2. To carry out engravings on hardwood, you must use a higher speed. So the ends that I've got, because obviously it comes with all these, if I showed you before, if you remember, lots and lots of these. And the wood ones are rounded on the ends. Now they've got a smaller wood one, which is there. If you can see that. I'm using the biggest wood one there is, and I think that one's for wood as well. It tells you in the book actually, so these 4 here are the ends to use for wood. I'm using the second one in at the moment. I like the thicker, it seems to take me less time. So I'm going to do another one on number 3 then. 2, oh my goodness, no 1, because I quite like that. Make my mind up in a minute. Okay, so turn it on. So number 3. No, that way. No, that way. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Right, 3, 2, 1. The only thing I will notice is it didn't cut quite so hard, and if you put a little bit of pressure on it, it does actually stop it from moving. So it makes you kind of have to slow down as well. Right, so we're going to use this for this little A. Now that's the other thing, you can't use it on very small intricate parts because that bit's just too big. Okay, so it might be too big for this A, so it might completely mess it up. Actually, I think that is okay. Just try the U next to it. Right, let's go over that in number 2 and see what happens. Let's see if it's any easier to... Let me move it this way a little bit. Okay, so again, you've got to let the pen do the work. Don't push too hard because that's when it starts jumping like that, and it causes what I call lumpy bumpies, which you can actually see a little bit in that U. I can't see again. In the U, you can see a very small little lump of lumpy bumpies where it's jumped, whereas the one next to it, it's not as deep, granted, but it's neater. The A is neater and C is neater. So I think, personally, I think using it on a number 1 for me, it works better. But play about with yours, see what you can do. Any scraps of words. I had some tree slices which I used, which was completely different because it's a different wood. So also do take that into account, that when you're doing it, if you're doing it on a different piece of wood, it's going to be harder or softer, and don't go against the grain. That's the other thing. If you go that way, the grain will just drag it. It's dreadful trying to go against the grain. Should we try that actually on number 2? Okay, you ready? Can you see? Okay, so this grain goes this way. Oh, actually, folks, I think that's perhaps a little bit easier. I can feel it pulling. it's not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, my daughter, she's had a go at this and has got on very well with it. In fact, I think she's probably used it more than I have. Okay, so going against the grain, that's what we've got. So I've written my name in there, and actually it doesn't look too bad for a freehand. And because it was upright like that, I got wobbles. It wasn't very stable, whereas if you lay it down, it's solid. So I don't think that's a bad go at it at all. And there was me telling you to not go against the grain, to go against the grain, but I don't think it's really, on this piece of wood, I don't think it's made that much of a difference, to be honest. So, right, my lovely YouTubers, please hit that subscribe button. I'm getting lots and lots of views, but no, then people aren't clicking the subscribe button. Do click it, because we've got lots of really new stuff coming out. Air dry clay, 2 gnomes, so I can do a comparison with 2 different clays. I've got Scooby-Doo and Shaggy with polymer clay. We're going to complete our junk journals, and I'm going to show you what a terrible mess I made of my one, so I had to redo it again. We've got hints and tips I've got for clay work on that, and I'm just trying to think what else I've got. Lots of bits and bobs. Yeah, so okay, thanks for watching. Hit the notification button, that way you don't miss a video, because I've got some really good ones coming out. And hit the subscribe button, that sort of helps me massively. And we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.